Memorials were held today in Ethiopia for some of the victims of an Ethiopian Airlines plane that crashed on Sunday.
This as relatives of passengers and crew begin to mourn and wait for answers. At least 22 United Nations workers were on board the ill-fated flight that killed all 157 people on board.
The flight from Addis Ababa to Nairobi, Kenya is a popular route for staff affiliated with the global organizations due to its regional headquarters in East Africa and the humanitarian and political work done in various hotspots in the same geographical area.
Moments of silence were held inside the United Nations headquarters in New York.
UN flags flying at half-mast in what the Secretary-General has called a sad day for the organisation. Moments of silence observed in the Security Council and at the opening session of the 63rd Commission on the Status of Women.
A global tragedy as it close to home, and the United Nations is united in grief. I extend my deepest condolences to the families and loved ones of all the victims, to the government of people of Ethiopia, and all these affected by this disaster. We are working closely with government officials on the ground and mobilizing assistance, counselling, and any other needed support during this difficult time. Our colleagues were women and men, junior professionals and seasoned officials, hailing from all corners of the globe and with a wide array of expertise.
Permítanme en primer lugar
I would like, as my first order of business, to convey my most sincere condolences to the families and friends of those who perished in yesterday's accident in Ethiopia, including many members of the United Nations family. I also convey my solidarity and sympathy to the governments and peoples of Ethiopia and Kenya and those nations who lost their citizens in this terrible tragedy yesterday.
The World Food Programme lost 7 staffers, while 6 were lost from the UN regional headquarters in Nairobi. The UN Food and Agriculture Organization, the International Organization for Migration, the Office of the High Commissioner for Refugees, the UN Environment Programme, the International Telecommunications Union, the World Bank and the UN Assistance Mission in Somalia all lost staff, making this one of the greatest losses for the United Nations in many years.
They all had one thing in common, a spirit to serve the people of the world and to make it a better place for us all. It is the same spirit that calls us to the UN every day and that brings you to this General Assembly Hall today. As we open this important gathering, let us honor the memories of our colleagues by keeping their spirit of service alive.
Similar sentiments expressed at other UN stations.
The crash of Ethiopian Airlines ET302 that went down yesterday and claimed the lives of 157 people, amongst which a lot of UN staff, delegates and other persons who were on their way to the United Nations Environment Assembly in Nairobi, came as a really profound shock to all of us. The UN Geneva family is expressing its heartfelt condolences to the families and to the loved ones of all the victims of this tragedy. Our thoughts are with the families, friends and colleagues, and we stand in solidarity with them and wish them strength and courage in this very difficult moment.
Passengers from 33 countries were on board when the flight crashed 6 minutes after takeoff from Addis Ababa's Bole International Airport. Sherman Briceby's SABC News.